What is PKI? So PKI stands for Public Key Infrastructure, and a good place to start of what it is why it exists, what its purpose is. And so we'll start with the use cases of PKI. Very commonly used for network authentication. So Wi-Fi, wired, VPN. Certificates are what gets created by public key infrastructure, and certificates are a stronger alternative to passwords. And network authentication is a very common area where passwords are stolen over the air. It's very easy for hackers to steal your username and password over the air when you're trying to connect to it, or you get your VPN credentials phished. PKI makes certificates which are very commonly used for those two use cases. Other use cases that are popular for PKI is desktop login. So you can tie your biometric to a certificate that has your device information, has your user information. So when you do that biometric, it goes and talks to maybe your Entra ID or Okta and says, you can log into your desktop. Application access as well is a big thing. Because the certificate is tied to a device, you can say, only my corporate devices can access this application. Another reason why PKI exists. Let's talk about the security benefits or the operations, the IT operational benefits of PKI and certificates. We talked about this when we talked about network authentication. A huge thing is preventing credential theft. Certificates make it so that you can have phishing-resistant authentication. You can prevent credential theft over the air like an evil twin attack or an adversary-in-the-middle attack. Big reason why PKI exists is preventing that. Another thing is device trust, right? So when we talked about it with application access, certificates that are issued by a PKI can be locked onto a device, and you can restrict certificates to only be on a certain type of device. And so what that allows you to do is implement device trust, which is a core component of a zero trust strategy. So with certificates, you can say, only my managed devices get access an application. Only my devices that have a low risk score and are compliant and available in my MDM can use the VPN to get access to like our production servers or our AWS environment, something like that. The last thing is that you all know this, passwords are just really annoying. And as well as the things required to be used with the password, like an MFA or authenticator code, also very annoying. PKI exists because certificates make it so you don't have to be reliant on that. So you can use a password plus a certificate to log into Salesforce. You can use a password plus a certificate to log into Okta and get access to your applications. That's just less sort of work you have to do during the day to actually get your work done. So the other thing that's helpful to think about when you're trying to understand what PKI is at a high level is the components of a PKI. So you need a way to issue certificates to all your devices. A helpful analogy that we've found at SecureW2 is to think about a PKI as a system to issue keys to your house. So you need a way to make all these keys. You need a way to make sure that whoever has these keys should have access to them. And you need a way to decide when someone shouldn't have a key anymore. And also maybe you should decide what keys can open certain rooms. You might let some people enter your living room, but you would allow much less people enter your bedroom. And so that's a helpful way to think about the components of a PKI. We start with the certificate authority. So certificate authority, I would say, is maybe the main component of a PKI. You have your root, your intermediate CA, and these issue client certificates. A certificate authority, that can be a lot to just understand on its own. A helpful way to think about it is that the way that usually humans trust each other is that we trust a friend of a friend. We trust someone that our coworker says, this is a good coworker, this is a nice person. That's the way to think about certificate authorities, is that your organization makes a root certificate authority, makes an intermediate certificate authority, and these issue all the keys to our house, which is called the client certificate. when systems see users and devices have these certificates, they see, oh, because it was issued by this certificate authority, this root or intermediate certificate authority, we should trust this user or device because this organization trusts this user and device. So how do certificate authorities issue all these certificates? Well, we can talk about issuance. So for unmanaged devices, you might have some sort of onboarding client like SecurityW2's PullTOS. You might have profiles that you push out. It looks a little different for different types of devices, but you have that group. Very commonly, and I think more frequently used, are APIs and protocols. So you can connect an API used by your PKI to a device management system and start pushing out some MDM profiles like a SCEP profile, a dynamic SCEP profile, an ACME profile, and that will automate the issuance of certificates to certain devices. And so issuance, there's a lot to talk about in issuance, but that's another core component of PKI. The last bit is the management part, right? You don't want to just make a bunch of keys at your house and just wipe your hands, say, I feel safe in my house. You need to make sure that you are constantly checking, should this person have a key? Should this key still open my bedroom, or should you only get access to my living room? So you have ways to get visibility around your keys. Like you have a nice management interface, you have reports, you have notifications that are constantly being sent about, hey, maybe this person shouldn't have a key anymore. And you have things like a discovery. That's a common thing in a CLM component. Certificate Lifecycle Management is something that is always kind of scanning around to see what keys are out there. And then you have your ways of saying who shouldn't have a key anymore. So you have a certificate revocation list, you have OCSP. You can just go into your PKI's managing user interface and just say, hey, this person shouldn't have access anymore. You have to have a way to revoke these keys, say this person shouldn't have access anymore. Revocation is a big component. And I would say the last sort of core component of PKI is a policy engine, which all these things are very tied to the data you feed into your PKI. I would say policy engine is the most tied to it. You need to make some policies of saying who should have this key, what types of devices should have these keys, because that's how you actually use certificates to restrict access and authorize different levels of access for your use cases of PKI. And so you have to have a policy engine that says, issue to these types of user devices. You should use these sort of APIs and protocols for different types of user devices. Maybe give different types of certificates to different types of users or devices. And all of that is going to be based on the data that you have available in your other systems, which makes it very important how your PKI is actually interfacing with things like your MDM or your CrowdStrike or your Active Directory or Okta or things like that. So those are the core components of PKI. That's the purpose of PKI, and hopefully that gives you a better understanding of what is a PKI and why it exists.